do you keep following me around? Look. Why do you keep following me around? Look.
Alright, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Tonight we're going to finish up that Terrance Gore roster build. We're going to import the players, make sure they look okay, and then we're going to build a peak Terrance Gore. We're importing every season of his career so we can look around to see, which defense do we want to take, which bat do we want to take, which stealing do we want to take, and then we'll duplicate that peak version a couple times, put him on the team, and then we'll also bring in all the different Mickey Loliches, who also passed away. Um, Smiley Face Jane pointed out he had 13 seasons with the Tigers, so we took the best 12. He only had one -4 season, so that's the one that we eliminated. And we're going to add him to the Tigers, and we'll take a look at that pitching staff. And then we're going to wait to do the sim. I'll probably do the sim on Friday afternoon, because I also want to go back and do that, to look at the dead ball creator roster test data. We'll look at that data along with one where we didn't have the modifiers off, and so we'll see how different that looks. And thanks to, I think it was Lisa Loves Biology who reminded me that we didn't do that yesterday, and so we'll do that tonight. So let me pull up that roster file that we started. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. Here's that roster. We do have a couple open spots here because the intent is to fill these with Terrance scores. Oh, the Nolan, were you streaming, Nolan? I didn't even realize. Well, welcome back if you were. That's great. Yeah, I'm doing good. I had a couple weeks over the last few months where I had some health issues, but hopefully those are behind me, and having fun with the game. Looking forward to the new game coming out in March. Been a regular in PTCS. That's been fun. How are you, Nolan? Are you back streaming for good now? Or are you gonna ease back into it? Let me give a shout out to the Nolan network here. So Nolan used to stream Friday evenings. I think maybe other nights too, but definitely Fridays. Doing a 2025 redo where you try to do better than the team did in real life. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, he was doing a 1970. Was it the expansion year? For some reason, I thought it was 79, which would have been a couple years after expansion. But was doing a fun, like, vintage Mariners save. And then went on hiatus for a while. Glad to have him back. And so a lot of times when I do my Friday afternoon stream, I'll raid into Nolan. And I don't know if you're planning to resume that same time slot, but I don't think anyone's filled it regularly because I'm usually looking for someone to raid into at that time. So if you're going to jump back in there, that'd be a good one too. All right, so let's go ahead and so what we need to do is build that roster file. And you've seen me do that before, but for people who are new, let me go find a roster we can use as a demonstration. Okay, here's the Team Christmas one. Let me share this. Right, so it's player ID, comma, the year we want to import, comma, and then the destination. And we are going to use KC and DET because we know where those players are going. The reason I use the franchise time machine designation a lot is because sometimes these rosters I might want to bring into different teams. But because of the nature of this sim, where we're honoring Terrance Gore primarily as a Royal and Mickey Lolich primarily as a Tiger, I don't see myself using this file again for any other teams. So we'll just import them to Kansas City and Detroit. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to confirm that KC is the abbreviation because I know in some sites the Royals are abbreviated as KCR. And I can't do this one because that's a dead ball season, so that won't have Kansas City in it. So let's just load a season here. And, well, perfect. Here's Speckle's Creator Roster. Let's open that. In honor of Mod Speckle, we'll open up the Speckle Creator Roster run. By the way, check this out. 129 wins. That's more wins than we've had in a long time, actually. So, pretty great run there by Speckle. The current record, of course, I think 138 by Nerd of Anarchy, but very respectable and pretty. Sometimes you don't realize until more time passes, but man, that 129 was actually really good. All right, so let's make sure. I'll go to game settings, league settings, and we go to league structure. So it's a KC. It is just KC, not KCR. Okay. And then Detroit, I'm like 99.99% sure it's DET, which it is right there. Okay. So I'm going to just create a new page of this. And I'm just going to copy that column. From there. Now we do have these two extraneous rows here that we're going to put Terrance Gore into. Right, these two right here. I'm going to copy them over anyway. I'm just going to delete them from the file. Okay, so there it is. And then we'll delete these two rows. And we're good. So it doesn't matter that they're out of order. The AI is just going to look for KC and DET and bring them in. All right, so let me save this. Simulation in OOTP26. This is, we'll call it Gore Lolich now. Oh, and I've been putting the episode numbers too. So this will be episode 584. All right, so let's create a new file for this. New game. We'll use the quick start. And this will be all right. So I don't know if there's enough people in the chat to answer this question yet, but I was watching Major League earlier today, and I don't know how much you remember about specific scenes of the movie, but in spring training, right, when you're first meeting all the characters, and Ricky Vaughn is about to throw his first pitch. The two coaches stand on either side of the catcher, and then he throws one over the catcher's head, and he breaks the sign that says "No Pepper." And they look back at the guy who has got the radar gun that says "How fast?" Does anyone remember how fast he threw that pitch? I mean, I know because I just saw it. I won't. I didn't remember until I just saw it. Exactly, Nerd of Energy is exactly right. 96, which I find kind of funny because now it's like you would say 96 and people were like, okay, so what? Like 96 is table stakes now. But like back then, 96 was like, I mean, that was some serious heat back then. I just thought that was kind of funny. Like not I was expecting to say like 102. Sorry, I had my alt had the speaker on. I thought I muted it. Thank you, Kitty Poo Poo. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was funny. That it was like he's supposed to be throwing so hard, and he's only throwing 96. So I thought that was funny. All right, we're gonna be taking over. Oh well, hold on. We're gonna be taking over two teams, and this gets problematic sometimes. Um, I mean, let's take over the Royals, and we'll figure out what to do about the Tigers. I think what I can do is I can make another team human managed. Um, because the team's not human managed, then you don't get things like the win probability graphs and stuff or the highlights. Speckle, thank you for the scritches. Giving Crouton the scritches right now. Speckle, I don't know if you were in the chat earlier, but I needed to look at a 2024 season, so I picked your creator roster run, and I was commenting on how good it was. 129 wins. It has aged well because 129 wins gets more and more impressive the more time goes by. Yeah, we were caps and sleeves and sleeves, so yeah. Did you just watch it recently or do you just remember that? I used to have a really good memory for like movie and music trivia, but I think all that stuff's been replaced by other stuff now. Yeah, there's an option to take over all teams, but then I don't want the memories, the storage suck of having all those highlights and all those win probably graphs and all of that data. Um, like one reason the game does that is to minimize the file size, which I want to minimize the file size, but that is a good suggestion, Secretly. That would be a way to definitely minimize the problems, but yeah. That there's one thing about the game that is sometimes not great is it's often easier to do something to every team than it is to do it to two teams. So like one team and every team are easy to do, and then if anything's in between, it's a little bit harder. But Kansas City is our main thing. I mean, this started as the Terrance Gore tribute, so we'll take over Kansas City. We'll update our mailbox settings. These do not get updated when you import Quick Start. Spice Face Jane, good to see you. And then manager options. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save this. So the settings are done. Now we'll go ahead and do the import. So for that, we go to Manager Pull Down menu, GM and Manager Actions, assign a free agent, import historical players from the historical database. Up here is we can import players one at a time, but we're going to use that file that I just created. what did I call it? I called it Sim 26. Or did I call it? Oh, yeah, episode. That's right. I was looking for G for Gore, but it was E for episode. Okay. Real life stats. The calculations base. This is the thing OOTP Developments gave us this season after we asked for it. We get to bring in just the specific year we're asking for. Fielding ratings based on entire career. This will make sure we get maximum roster flexibility. Pitcher stamina based on imported season. And then let's lower this. I don't think we have any... Actually, some of the Terrance Gore seasons are small sample size. So let's bring this way down. We're going to basically make this... And no one gets nerfed. $35 players. Is that correct? Let's see. It is 35 players. Oh, that's a good idea, Smiley Face Chain. Best available would be nice. Yeah, so there should be no changes to the pitching staff. Here are our new batters. So I'm going to add them all to the short list. Wathan. Perry's from the reserve, but we're still going to use him. Merrifield, Offerman, Brett, Foy, Garcia, Escobar, Mondesi, Paddock, Washington. Oh, this is interesting. Look, we imported a Bobby Witt Jr. He got a higher infield rating, a higher defensive rating because we did career. Well, why is George Brett a 1.5 star? What? All right. I wonder if I made a mistake typing in his year. We'll take a look at that in a second. Yeah, I probably typed the year in wrong. All right, so now when we go to the short list, how many Royals did I have? 7, 12. I had 23. How many do I have here? 23. Perfect. Okay. So let's look at that George Brett. Yeah, 44 years old. So I definitely did something wrong here. I put 1998. I think I was supposed to put 1988. Okay. So, human error. Human error abounds when I do these things. All right, let me look up George Brett again. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 88, but let me just double check. Yeah, we meant to take 88. So this is where we'll go ahead and use that. We'll use that single player import window. Now we don't have a free agency pool, so that fortunately makes it much easier. So it's Brett GE01 and we want 1988. Everything else we leave the same. Yeah, 5-star. Much better. Thank you for catching that, smiley face, Jane. So we go into editor. And while we're here, let's go ahead and add 1988. And let's also add him to the short list. Now let's go look at Detroit. Oh, actually, let's delete the wrong Brett. Here's 44-year-old Brett. Let's compare him to this peak Brett. Yeah, pretty bad. Peak Brett, way better. This is better than it used to be, though. It used to be when you imported a player from a year where they didn't have a profile, a statistical profile. The avoid K would be super high because he didn't strike out that year because he has no data. And everything else would be super low because he had no hits, no doubles, no walks, no home runs. So that's what it. This is actually better than it used to do, which is nice. Still not playable, but nice. So we'll go ahead and retire this player, or delete this player. I mean. All right. Oh yeah, his hat went black because he's no longer in the Royals. That's cool. All right, so let's go back to the. Let's go to Detroit now. Or we'll go to pitching staff. Or no, we'll go to roster, and then we'll go to Detroit. Okay, we'll take all these Mickey Loliches. That's funny. Scooble's better than all the Mickey Loliches. So we're actually going to downgrade part of the pitching staff. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. All right, so on the pitching side, we have these 12 Loliches. And everything looks pretty good here. Now, here's the thing. Potential is based on peak seasons. I don't know why all these potentials aren't the same. Because they're all the same player. So his peak potential should be the same. So I think that's interesting. All right, well, let's go through and add the ages to the Loliches. Or not the ages, the year. So this is 1975. Okay, we'll just arrow down to the next one. This is a 1970. Oh, shoot. This is a 1974. This is 1973. So 1972. 1971. 1970. Very good year. 69. 68. 67. 63. By the way, did y'all notice this? Did y'all notice this right here? City of birth. Portland, Oregon. Let's see what high school he went to. Lincoln High School. Still around. Lincoln High School. I mean, I guess elementary schools, I think, tend to close and open, but the high schools are pretty stable. But, yeah, Lincoln High School still around. Lincoln High School just recently got a renovation. So a lot of the high schools in Portland are getting renovated. I think they're doing like one every other year or so. Let me see if I can find some pictures of the renovation. Oh, here's a drone. I think this is probably a drone video. Let me see if I can share this. I think this is the renovated Lincoln High School. Or is this a rendering? This might be a rendering. Oh, I don't know. The city behind it looks real. I think that is a drone video. Yeah, it's right on the main drag, and then you can see the fields from this. Wow, look at this weight room. That's amazing. That's really nice. Here's the renovation going on. There's a nice shot of it. You can see the city in the background. Football field and the track. You did a nice job with the renovation. Anyway, yeah. That's where Mickey Lolich went to high school. All right, so I think. Wait, why is Zach McKinstry on the short list? He shouldn't be on the short list. Okay, he's not. Okay, all those players now. Let's go to the batters now. All right, first, I think the first priority is let's get to the Terrance Gore that we want. I think this is what we want to use as the base, right? We'll use, this is the 2014 Terrance Gore. Uh, 2019 is the year we thought was going to be the peak. Oh, I know what's happening. I turned off all the small sample size things. So in 2014, he went he went 0 for 1, but he had a walk. So what do his batting ratings look like? Oh, his eye should be huge that year. Why is he 5-star? Is it just the running? Because I guess 70 contact is pretty good. So 2019 is the most full year we have for him. It would have been his 28-year-old season. So 28-year-old season right here. Well, it's only a 1.5 star. Oh, that's not 2018. It's 2020. Sorry, it's 2019. What? 2019. Oh, the age here is off. That should have been his 20-year-old season. So the BREF age and the OOTP age are not lining up. Okay, so this is the year where he actually had stats. He had 275 with a 715 OPS. So we're going to use this as the base Terrance score. And this is 2019. Now let's find the highest stealing rating. 85, 85. This is 85, 85 for stealing and base running. All right, so the 85, 85 one. Now this, so this is 90, 95, 85, 85. This is the same. This is also the same. So actually, I think we can leave the 2014 speed. I think it's pretty good. Let's go to editor and make sure. What are his ratings? 228, 250. Let me jot this down in the notepad here. 228, 250. 225, 220. Okay, now let's go through these other seasons and see if there's anything a little higher. Yeah, because he didn't strike out at all when I turned off the nerfing. So that's why he's got a 600s. Yeah, so these ratings are the highest I think I've seen. So we'll leave them as is. Okay. So the next thing we'll do is let's look at his fielding. Okay, 98, 94, 113. We'll see if we can beat that. Nope, same. 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 That's Willie Wilson. Don't pay attention to that. That's Willie Wilson. That's Carlos Beltran. Terrance Gore. That's weird. His fielding exactly the same. So we're gonna leave it. Leave it at that. So you know what? I think it's just 2014 is the peak. Oh, that's right, Sly Face Jane. I did the career import. That's right. Yeah. Sly Face Jane always always figuring out where I messed up. Alright, so I think with that, I think we're done. We'll just delete out all the Terrance scores. This is our peak Terrance score. How do we like it? I mean, he is a 5-star player. It's pretty nice. So which season did this peak BABIP come from? That's what I want to know. That's Willie Wilson. That's Beltran. Okay, so the peak, the 90 BABIP came from 2019. He hit. He hit 275. I don't know why his BABIP is so high. Did he strike out a lot? Oh yeah, he struck out 18 times in 51 at bats. But his contact was good, so the game is filling this in to be super high. Oh, wait a second. Did I say we won in 2014? Because 2015 is when he had... 2019 is when he had the full season. Or as full of a season as he had. 50... For him, 58 plate appearances is the full season. So this is the full season. This is... sorry, I had it backwards. This is the full season. Oh, yeah, okay. No, it is the 5-year season. The 5-year, 5-star. This is the full season. Okay. Alright, so we're going to keep 2014 and we're going to delete out the others. Is it? Oh, you're right. 2019 is the full season. Wait, so what was 2014 then? 2014 is the one where he went 0 for 1 with 5 runs. That's right. So 2019 is the one we're keeping. 2019 is the one we're keeping. So we're keeping a 4-star season. I wonder what would happen if I added this avoid K. 336, 320. 319. And we go to the 2014 one. Okay, so the avoid Ks from this season are 679, 666. This is like these are made up numbers though, because he didn't strike out. That's why he's getting those crazy avoid Ks. So it's not really like performance based. It's just based on the fact that he had no strikeouts. But if we were to take these and put them in, oh, you're right. You can't type in 600 numbers. You have to do this. Yeah, he becomes a 376 hitter. I think four stars is still pretty good. I think it does justice to him. Actually, I should do it on the short list. Okay, so we need to make room on the roster. So this new Bobby Witt is a little better because he comes in with higher fielding. Right? So here's the imported Witt. Let's go ahead and put his year on here so we can. It's still 2024, but by putting this year, I'm showing myself that this is the imported version. Okay, so the imported Bobby Witt has 5550 as his defensive ratings. The original Bobby Witt only has shortstop and is a 40. So his batting will be the same, but his fielding is better. So we have two catchers, so we can get rid of all the position players. You know what, maybe it's better to do it through this view here. Yeah. Okay, so all right, we still have 16 batters. That's going to be too many, right? Yeah, 3 too many. It's because we had some players on the reserve list. Our reserve list. So we had Gerald Perry, Michael Garcia, and Alcides Escobar. So let's see what the AI wants to do for lineups, and then we'll see who's going to get cut. I think Gerald Perry is probably an easy cut. What does the depth chart look like? Okay, Wathan can play first, and Offerman can play first. So we don't need Gerald Perry. We have a lot of shortstops. Let's look at their position coverage. Right. Escobar and Patek are both shortstop only, but Patek has one of the highest stolen base seasons, so I think Escobar is going to probably the one who's going to get cut. Even though Escobar's got the better bat. I think Garcia was on a reserve list, so we'll send him to the reserve. So 13 pitchers, 13 batters. Okay, so based on our roster, we were going to force start Patek at short. So if you go to game strategy, you can force the AI to start somebody. Force start at shortstop. There's no backup outfielder? Oh, because I haven't cloned the Terrance Gore yet. Oh, so we're going to have to make more cuts, that means. So clone player. Clone player. So then we go to the free agent list. Okay. Nerdvanarchy, thank you for giving more switches for Crouton. Hey, Crouton, these are Nerdvanarchy switches for you. But this way, I sent another batch of episode pack giveaway results to Nicolino today. So hopefully he'll get to them this week. And so a bunch of you will be getting more packs. I'm almost caught up. I think as next Monday when I send the next batch, it will be pretty much caught up. So for those of you who won packs in the last week or so, just give me till Monday and then however long it takes Nicolino, and then you'll have your we'll be all caught up. Oh, maybe Nicolino just didn't tell me that he did them then. Let's see. Did Nicolino message me? I don't think he did. Yeah, he didn't message me, but let's see. Smiley Face Jane, you would have gotten some. Let's see. Who else is in the chat right now? Nerd of Anarchy, you would have gotten a bunch. Kitty Poo Poo. Kitty Poo Poo, you would have gotten a bunch. See, Grizzly, you would have gotten some too. So if anyone I just mentioned, if you could check your transactions If you got some packs from me today, that means yeah, Z Grizzly, you would have gotten 5. Okay, so it might just be that Nicolino forgot to tell me that he did it, but okay, great. So the next batch I send on Monday will have us completely caught up through, probably through Sunday. So we'll be we'll be caught up to the day. So I appreciate everyone's patience. They piled up a lot while I was sick. So all right, so now we're gonna have too many players because I just added more Terrance scores. Oh, Nordic is not at his computer right now. Okay. Psycho Duck. I don't know if you're in the batch. Oh no, yeah, Psycho Ducko, you should have gotten 3. Okay, so I guess maybe I guess maybe they didn't go through yet then. Nicolino's usually pretty good about letting me know he's done them, so they might not have gone through yet. And again, none of these delays are because of Nicolino. These delays are all because I was sick and didn't send them in promptly. So they're not. It's not Nicolino's fault. Oh, he is from Macon, Georgia, isn't he? Yeah. Deli Sports says Macon, Georgia is iconic to me because that's where Lee Everett from the Walking Dead game was from. That's awesome. Deli Sports, we were doing. We started playing Dead Ball Crater Roster again, and you had the first run, so you still have the record in Dead Ball Crater Roster. 105 wins in 1907 by Deli Sports is still the current record. Okay, so now we have 3 10 scores. That still might not be enough backup outfielders, though. Oh, it is because we have we're gonna 4-start Willie Wilson in center field. And we'll also 4-start Carlos Beltran in center field. Okay, so yeah, so they're in his inbox or Discord messages. So, hopefully you'll get them soon. Okay, so Carlos Beltran is going to start in center. Willie Wilson is going to back up in center. The reason I put both of them at center is so that it doesn't start Willie Wilson in another outfield spot. And then so it's Terrance Gore at DH, Terrance Gore in right field, Terrance Gore in left field. Oh, no, wait. Whit Merrifield, we need to 4-start at second base. All right, let's try again. Jose Offerman is now starting at DH. Jose Offerman will 4-start. You know what? Let's just 4-start Terrance Gore at DH. Let's see if that solves the problem. Man, come on, AI. Well, I don't necessarily want maximum stolen bases. I just want to make sure that the Terrance scores are starting. And Offerman was on our roster as a utility infielder, so I think he's where I want him to be. And Bobby Witt starting at third, perfect. Oh, it's starting Fran Healy instead of Wathan. I have Healy as the backup. So I guess we're going to have to force start Wathan. All right. Someone should have suggested what? Starting Fran Healy? Okay, this looks pretty good. It's interesting though. It is leading off Terrance Gore. With all these base stealers, it is leading off Terrance Gore. That makes me kind of happy. That's great. All right, so depth chart wise, starter tired. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason other than like I thought that George Brett should be starting because he's George Brett, and but yet I used a different logic. Right, Freddie Patek I'm starting because he had the most stolen bases by a shortstop. So, but if I'm following that logic, then to your point, Flyfation, then Offerman should be starting at first. But I think I'm good. I like these subs being subs. I think this is good. Look at these stealing ratings. Amazing. Up and down the lineup. The lowest are our backup catcher, our first baseman, and our third baseman. You think you're? Yeah, I probably would if it wasn't George Brett, but it's George Brett. I think I got to start George Brett. It wouldn't feel like a Royals team without George Brett playing. So I mean, the other thing I considered doing is giving Terrance Gore like center field rating so that he can play all 4 outfield spots. But once I saw Beltran and Willie Wilson's peak stats, I felt like I had to include them. Only follow logic when it's on your side. Yes, yeah. I'll selectively follow my logic. I mean, there's the leading kind of thought though is that this should feature Terrance Gore, and it does, and so I'm happy with that. And then the rest of it is like I want it to be like a fun Royals team, and I don't think it's a fun Royals team without George Brett. So there were two themes, right? Let's honor Terrance Gore, and then let's put him on a team with the best base stealing Royals of all time. And so they're all on the roster. I'm just choosing this to start George Brett. I mean, frankly, I'm also doing that with Bobby Witt Jr. too, right? Because Offerman could start over Bobby Witt Jr. too. So I'm kind of balancing like a competitive roster because that would mean benching a 5-star or a 4.5-star player with the stolen base record. So it'll be interesting when we sim this on Friday. What the projection is going to be. For stolen bases. Spy Facing says, I get what you're saying with Brett for sure. It just seemed like when we constructed the roster, it's going. Yeah, but even in the original roster file, George Brett is the starting first baseman. Like I'm prioritizing the decisions we made in the roster build. Like Bobby Witt Jr. starting at third. Like Offerman, I'm pretty sure has third base ability. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, he doesn't. How about Foy? Foy has third, and his stealing ability is 70, which is higher than Bobby Witt Jr.'s. But I'm not going to start Joe Foy over Bobby Witt Jr. Right? Because, like, the goal wasn't to maximize the stolen bases of the team. The goal was to have Terrance Gore play with the leading base stealers in Kansas City Royals history, and he is. But I'm also trying to field a competitive roster. Now, where that kind of falls apart is Pat Tech is a 2.5-star, so there's an argument there that like Mondesi should be starting over him, or we should put in Offerman. Well, Offerman's a 45 shortstop, so that wouldn't make sense. But I mean, he's also the top fielding shortstop, I think, on the team. And so the George Brett selection. Well, no, right, because there's two things. To qualify for the team, you have to have been one of the highest base stealers of the Royals. But once the roster's set, I'm going to then optimize around being a competitive team, with the exception of making sure that Terrance Gore starts. I don't think that's inconsistent. Right, we build the roster by the top base stealers, and then we build the lineups based on. Yeah, no. Sorry, I think it's fine. I like that you're. I like that you're making me explain it because I feel like it has to make sense, and I don't know if I'm able to make it make sense. Lisa Loves Biology, thank you for the scritches for Crouton. Hey Crouton, these are Lisa Loves Biology scritches. Yeah. All right. So we cut General Perry because Offerman had more steals at first, right? So let me go see. Let me see if I can find that. What's the Fangraphs that Smiley Face Jane sent me? It was between Brett and Perry. Okay. Oh, right, because of the first baseman, they had the highest. Okay. Was Perry ahead of Brett? I think he might have been. I don't know. I just found a hard time doing a Royal Sim without George Brett on the team. Especially since we found the season where he stole some bases. Oh, that's right. That's right. With primary first base, Perry was higher, but then we found the Brett season. Yeah. Yeah. No, we're not changing the pitcher, Psycho Ducko. So I think if once the players are set, with the overriding rule that Terrance Gore has to be featured, then I think this lineup makes sense. Other than, so Offerman's also a 55 at second base, so potentially you could force start him instead of Whit Merrifield. Let's see. We could platoon them too. That would be fun. Yeah, so versus lefties, it would be Offerman. And then versus righties, we could go. Oh, sorry. Wait, that's versus lefties. That's versus. Duh. I was looking at the wrong ones. It might be Offerman versus both, actually. Because if we're not trying to maximize steals, I don't know why we're bothering to force other guys like. Well, there were only two catchers who had any number of steals. It was Wathan and Healy. So Wathan, I don't think Wathan's forced at all. Oh, you mean why am I starting him over Healy? Because I thought that AI made a bad decision to start Wathan over Healy. Although actually, now that I look at the ratings, I guess Healy is better. That's interesting because when I looked at the BREF seasons, I thought Wathan's season was a lot better, but from a ratings perspective, Healy is better. Well, it wasn't just the steals though. I thought when I looked at the BREF seasons, I thought his numbers were better, but it might have also been relative to the season. So it could have been that like in the 82 run environment, maybe it was just a more offensive run environment, or I might have just like misjudged their BREF stat lines. But yeah, I guess Healy should be starting then. Well, also, Wathan's the better defensive catcher. That was the other thing. So that's why. That's also why I've the other reason for Pat. I mean, I know I said his steals, but he's a 55, Mondesi's a 50, and then Offerman was a 45, right? So I would probably still start Patek anyway. Now, the thing that would make sense to do, though, is to start the better defensive catcher on the long side platoon and have the worst defensive catcher start on the short side platoon because they're both righties. And so the splits are about the same. So we could do that. We could make Wathen the catcher, starting catcher versus righties. How do I... How would I do that, though? It doesn't look like it's going to let me... I guess I could... if I just put him over here... Now that the lineups are set, and then I just ask for the depth chart update, that should do it, right? Okay, so yeah, so that's a good point. I do think Healy's bat is better. Wathen's glove is better, so we'll use Wathen versus righties. Well, neither of the defensive catchers are very good. Oh, Find V. Oh yeah, okay, Find V. Awesome. Find V redeeming a community game. Just get in touch with me on Discord and we'll get you scheduled. Yeah, because if we're going strictly by steals, or okay, now, but then the question becomes: are we going? Would I have been going if I were to optimize by steals? Would we go by steals or steal rating? Because Fran Healy's steal rating is a 65, Wathen's is a 75. But yeah, Healy's definitely the better bat. Wathen's the better defender. And there's splits, the difference between them, VR and VL, seems to be the same. Okay, now I have to go look at this furry channel. What are you doing to me, Lisa Loves Biology? Kelta the Pomeranian. Okay, let's see what Kelta the Pomeranian is all about. Oh, they're still live. Oh, they're a VTuber. I was expecting a real life furry. It's a VTuber though. You know, I wonder. That's the kind of thing that makes you suspect, though, right? That your phone is listening to you, and then since we've been or like watching your activity in other apps because we discussed furries in here, and now all of a sudden it puts you in a furry channel. But yeah, so I appreciate you're right. I was being a little inconsistent. It's true. but part is like I wasn't really focused on like laying out my rules in order. So if I were to lay out my rules in order, top rule would be Terrance Gore gets featured. And then I think the title slide said with the best base stealing Kansas City Royals of all time. Right, but to build a roster, we have to do that by position. And then so George Brett's on the team because he had a higher stolen base season than Gerald Perry. And I think that's still correct across all the positions. Right, Joe Foy may have had more stolen bases than Bobby Witt Jr., but Bobby Witt Jr.'s on the list, so he makes the team. So I don't think there's anyone who made the team who shouldn't have made the team. So then the next part is, okay, then adhering to rules 1 and 2. And so the reason for any inconsistency is I didn't force myself to lay out these rules in order yesterday. So then the third rule would be, then let's build a competitive lineup. In which case, it's obvious that George Brett should be starting. And it's obvious that Bobby Witt Jr. should be starting. And if Willie Wilson had had better ratings than Terrance Gore, I would refer back to Rule 1, which is we are featuring Terrance Gore. But unfortunately, we found a Terrance Gore season that allows us to just feature him without having to... except for DH. The AI didn't want to play him at DH, so we apply Rule 1 to make sure that Terrance Gore starts at DH. But yeah, I mean, part of my intent wasn't to like stick, like I don't know, to be that rigorously adhering to a set of rules. I just wanted to, you know, create a fun sim that would have Terrance Gore shine, which I think we're doing. I love that his secondary ratings were so good right out of the box. Like, that was awesome. Okay, so this team feels pretty done, except for the strategy. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're not going to do sabermetric because this whole team can steal. Is it tactician? Or you know what we could do? Let's do this. Sabermetric. We'll bump up the steals a little bit, but I like the way Smiley Face Jane does this in her peak performances. We'll do the Smiley Face Jane technique where everyone who's 80 and above, so Patek and above, will crank up their stealing. Well, that's because I don't think the AI always has the best lineup. I do that all the time with my tournaments. I have the AI put out the first version, and then I do what I believe is correcting the AI. And so when I see what the AI did, I think Patek is the best defensive shortstop. Merrifield's probably the only one where I just blindly started him because I knew he had more stolen bases. You think we set the lineup and stuff manually? I guess so, but I don't even do that. I mean, the only time I do that is in... I guess I'm treating this more like a perfect draft than a traditional build. Because in a perfect draft, I let the AI go first and then I edit it. On a perfect draft, I never build it from scratch. The only time I build it from scratch is a traditional tournament. So this is more like a traditional tournament, but I just wanted to get it done faster, I guess. That was, I guess, rule zero. Rule zero was I'm tired, so I don't want to stream too long tonight, which I think I mentioned earlier in the stream. So that's the primary reason I think I went with the AI. Plus, I think it's out of habit from playing Creator Roster. Now, Spy Fishing, what do you do with your stolen base, your steals guys who are like maybe in the 70s? Like, what's your cutoff for when you crank up their stealing? Or is it case by case, like team by team? So right now I took all the 80s. I don't think this is that different. When I did the Billy Bean and uh, the Glenn what was his last name? Glenn Burke. I think I did it like this because the AI was like not playing people I wanted to. But Ryan Elder again, the point wasn't to have a team with the most steals. That was never the point was to feature Terrance Gore. And because Gore's thing was stealing, I wanted him to play with base stealing teammates. But the primary goal was never to crank up the stealing. The primary goal was to highlight Terrance Gore. So that's just like I feel like that's just adding a thing that was never a thing. You leave the 70s and below. Okay, so the 75s so I should crank up. All right. So strategy. All right, UL Washington gets cranked up. Whit Merrifield gets cranked up. Uh, UL Washington gets cranked up. Wait, did I forget Wathen? Did I miss Wathen? Wathen's a 75, right? Yeah, he's a 75. Okay. Okay. Actually, when we stack rank it this way, right, the only inconsistencies are Willie Wilson, but that's because we need two center fielders, and I don't want them taking at bats from Terrance Gore, so therefore started as center field. So then the other main exception becomes Mondesi. So at 50 at shortstop, I wouldn't start him against a 55 at shortstop. He's a 60 at second base, so you could argue that he should start over Merrifield. But Merrifield's contact power I are 75, 40, 50. Mondesi's a 55, 60, 35. I like Merrifield's shape a lot better, so I would probably still start Merrifield. UL Washington has no bat, so he would stay on the bench, even though he's as good of a defender as Patek. Foy theoretically could start over. Well, no, you wouldn't take Foy's bat over Bobby Witt Jr.'s bat. So then that leaves Offerman. So Offerman's a 55 at second base. It's debatable. We did look at the bat, right? We looked at Offerman versus Merrifield. I think we looked at this earlier. Right, I was thinking about platooning. It would be a worse D for a bat upgrade. At second base, they're both 55s. Oh, sorry. You're talking about something else, my fate. Could you Offerman first base, Brett third base? Which shortstop? Oh, I see. So that would be. So then the assumption there is Offerman's bat is better than Patek's bat, which it probably is. It is that yeah, his bat is better than Patek's bat. But then what happens at shortstop? Our shortstop defense goes from 55 to 50. I don't know that I would take that trade off. I don't know that I would go 5 less defense at shortstop to get basically to get this bat in over this bat. Maybe I would. Patek's bat is pretty bad. This might be worth 5 points of defense. So the bat's better here, the secondaries are better here, and the defense is better here. I just never realized Smiley Face Jane is such an Offerman stan. You know, part of it is Offerman's defense on this card is better than I was expecting because I just I'm just used to assuming Offerman is like the worst fielder, like the worst was one of the worst fielding shortstops. But his defense is actually better than I thought it was going to be. No, his bat's so much better, but reputationally and in a lot of seasons, his defense is terrible. And this one, because we took his career defense, is just bad. It's not terrible. So I was kind of making the assumption that his defense was as bad as I normally am used to seeing it. Like when I've done Met sims, Offerman is like one of the worst shortstops in the league defensively. But these ratings are actually not that bad. So I was definitely assuming his glove is what I'm used to seeing, and this is actually not as bad as I'm used to seeing. But I'm trying to set all this aside, and I'm trying to think like, would I replace this glove with that? Would I replace this glove with that glove? Because that's what it boils down to. Would I replace this glove for that glove to get this bat at shortstop? And I might. Like shortstop, second base, center field are the places I'm least likely to upgrade the bat in exchange for glove or update the bat at the expense of glove. Oh, that's right. That's right. So I need to compare Bobby Witt's shortstop defense to Patek's. That's right. That's right. I need to do this. His bat is way well. No. The bat comparison is Offerman versus Patek because that's the bat we're adding for the bat we're removing. The defensive comparison is Bobby Witt Jr. to Patek because that's the glove that we're replacing. That's right. So I need to compare Patek's bat to Offerman's bat, but Patek's glove to Bobby Witt's glove. because we're making like a three-way trade here. Yeah, so this is not really that much of a downgrade of glove. And this is a big upgrade in bat. Oh, I remember the other reason we did this last night. The other reason we did this last night is because Patek is a one position player. And I wanted Offerman to be backing up all the infield spots, which he can, and Patek cannot. But it actually turns out that Patek can play all the infield spots. Because I wasn't looking at career defense when I was making that decision at the time. So yeah, so that reason is gone. So I think what's why Face Jane is saying makes more sense then. So we take off the force start here. So now he's a utility backup, which we didn't have at the time, because at the time it looked like he was just shortstop only. So now we can do... we force Offerman at first. And then we force Brett. It'll probably put Brett at third anyway, but... And then Bobby Witt Jr. at short. Okay, now we have to reassign the lineups, and now we have to redo the benches. Oh man. Okay, 11:30. Okay, so we're not going to do pack rips tonight because I'm not staying up that late. So we'll just do this. We'll do a wheel spin. I'm gonna have to punt on the pack rips, and then let's I don't know, maybe I'll do a draft or something. Oh no, we still have to look at the dead ball data. Shoot. Okay, we'll look at the dead ball data, and then we'll do another wheel spin. All right, we'll do it that way. Okay, so these are gonna be... Are these going to be messed up now? Yes, because Offerman's going to have to start, so we'll have to redo these. Yeah, we're gonna have to redo those. Okay, so now... Oh, no, we need all the lineups, because everything's changed, so we gotta do all the lineups. Alright, let me check the depth charts. I'll take that off. Oh no, I still want Wathen starting versus righties, and Healy starting versus lefties. Okay, so now we have to ask for the benches again. Yeah, that looks okay. I don't love that the AI bumped the right field Gore down to the 8th spot. I think the AI is trying to maintain switch right right, instead of going right. I think. Right, because these bats should be equivalent, so it doesn't make sense that it would bat it behind one and not the other, unless it's trying to maintain this switch right. I want Wathan to be playing more games because he's a better defender. So yeah, so I did do it wrong. Ugh. So okay, so let me redo that. Thank you for catching that, smiley face, Jane. So we got to go Wathan versus righties because I want the better catcher playing more games. And then we got to go Healy versus lefties. And then we have to redo the depth chart. Okay. And then that's good. That's good. Okay. Now let's go. We still have to do the Tigers pitching staff. Okay. Let's save this so I don't lose it. Okay. You know what? I might have I might have to punt the deep dive on the dead ball data. Because I was, yeah, so when can we do it though? I have to do, maybe we'll do it Sunday. Maybe we'll do it Sunday. Okay, so we saved all that. Let's go to the Tigers pitching staff. You should be pitching race splits. Okay. Tigers pitching staff. Alright, so we have to send all these other pitchers to the reserve. One. I hope they had 12 pitchers to start with. They may have had 13. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, shoot, they had 13. Okay, so they will keep Scooble. Okay. So I was hoping to have an all Lolich rotation. It will still be all lefty. Let's see. How should I do this? Okay, let's do this. I'll take Scooble to the reserve temporarily. I'll have the AI set the pitching staff so we get an all Lolich rotation. And then we'll bring back Scooble. What happened to Scooble? Why isn't he... Did I not send him to the reserve? Did I cut him? What did I do? Did I delete him? Oh, okay, that's right. This is the Royals. Detroit Tigers. Alright, thank you, Smiley Face Jane. Okay, now we'll bring him back. And now we'll set the bullpen. Oh, I'm at the Royals again. Dang it. I'm so used to using these buttons over here. No, it's because I'm used to using these buttons, and these buttons take you back to the team you're managing. So every time I press that button, it takes me back to Kansas City. So that's just user error on my part. Alright, now ask for bullpen. So interesting, we're not running a closer at all. All right. The number one starter is the 67 Lolich. Number 2 is 71. Number 3 is 69. Number 4 is 65. And then 72. If I look at just the ratings, I feel like the 1969 Lolich is the second best one to me. So I'm going to move that one up ahead of... I know the AI loves the control, and that's probably why the 71 is put in the 2 spot. So I'm going to move the 69 ahead of the 71. I think the rest I agree with. It's interesting that the 75 Lolich is a specialist. Is he that splitty compared to the other Loliches? I mean, the 73 one is even more splitty. But I guess he's better, so he's up in a setup role. So the bullpen AI lately in these sims has been... Yeah. I mean, having no closer or stopper seems really weird. I mean, maybe it'll be okay. I mean, the other alternative, if the AI thinks these are the 2 best relief pitchers, let's see, 73 and 70. I mean, 68 looks better than 70. Okay, if I were building this bullpen... Yeah, 68 and 73. And 75. Would be my picks. I think 75, 73... and 68. I mean, I'd probably make 75 and 73 my stoppers. And then 70... No, 64... 64 and 74. Yeah, they're just doing setup with no one coming in after them to close. Now, because again, the goal is to highlight Lolich. That's why I'm not putting Skubal in the rotation or as a stopper role. He would actually be probably the best stopper. All right. Crouton did his collar shake for the cooldown, but then he walked away. So let me give him his scritches. Hey, buddy, here's your scritches for Nerd of Anarchy. All right. Oh, it wasn't for Nerd. It was from Psycho Ducko. Let me redo that. Come here, buddy. These are Psycho Ducko scritches. All right. Psycho Ducko scritches have been delivered. I think this is probably how I do it. And then 63 and 68. Actually, 63 and 70. 68 is a little less bad. So 68 will move to middle relief. And then 70 and 73 will do long relief. I mean, I'm going to set this up like one of my tournament bullpens. Well, also, though, like, I mean, I wouldn't have brought in a bad Terrance Gore year, so I'm not going to bring in a -4 Lolich year either. So I think this is fine. I think keeping Skubal is fine. Okay. So let's save this. All right. Let's save as a quick start too. Season 26. All right. Okay. Let me get the pack giveaway form up. So we're already coming to the time I was hoping to end the stream. So maybe we'll just do 2 wheel spins and then. I mean, if there's a draft I have to do before I go to bed anyway. So maybe I'll just do wheel spin, draft, wheel spin. What am I looking? Oh yeah, I'm looking for a wheel spin. No, sorry. That was I brought up the wheel. I didn't bring up the wheel spin form, which is what I needed to do. Okay. Sorry, it's been a long day. Wheel spin. Oh, okay. I'll just copy the ones from last night. We'll just do that. Episode 584. We'll call it Terrance Gore import to distinguish it. Okay, link to form for tonight's first giveaway. We'll do a second one no matter what. It's just a matter of what, if anything, we do between the two wheel spins. Okay, so that's there. It's pinned to the chat. All right, good luck, everybody. Where are we relative to the next ad break? Okay, good timing. Good timing. I will push 3 minutes of ads, take a BRB, refill my water stuff, so you'll have time to fill out your forms, and when I get back, we'll close it up and do the first wheel spin. So good luck. Good luck.